thought I'd just briefly tell you the story of WEAll, the Wellbeing Economy Alliance. And I describe it as having many mothers, in that it was created around sort of 2018 by academics, activists, network builders, entrepreneurs, all sorts of different folks who had, in their different ways and in their different spheres of influence, had been working to transform the economic system, finding their little niche and just getting on with it. But they realized that while all this amazing work was happening, because they were disconnected, they were a bit like rocks in the river, and the water of business as usual was just carrying on around them. And so what they wanted to do was come together and collectively have each other's back, join up, amplify each other's work, and by collaborating, start to build this momentum for the sort of economic system change of the magnitude and the extent and the pace that our planet and our communities so urgently need. And what they're doing is really not denigrating that downstream survival and coping work, because that is quite literally a humanitarian response to an inhumane economic system. But what they're doing is that saying that what we can do is raise our gaze. And you've probably heard me say many, many times, we all need to channel our inner 3-year-old by not just taking the symptoms and the apparently disconnected crises as separate, but channel our inner 3-year-old and ask why? What's going on behind these crises? And when you do that, you keep asking why and you find yourself facing the economic system. And so the task is to take action there, is to really start to build an economic system that's much more firmly aligned with what people and planet need. And we're going to do that by bringing together the incredible knowledge base that is out there. That's the knowledge base on why we need to change, but also what change starts to look like. We see it in microcosm, we see it in small examples around the world, but also build the power bases. And some of the most exciting aspects of building that power base, the countervailing forces to the very powerful entrenched vested interests, are yes, through things like the Wellbeing Economy Governments Partnership, WEGO, that Australia is now observing and it has observer status in WEGO, but also through these incredible hubs that are bubbling up around the world. And it's been one of the most exciting and surprising aspects of the WEAll journey these last few years is how people in their different countries are saying, we want to translate this idea of economic system change to our locality. We want to spotlight and celebrate the pioneers. We want to work across sectors. So we want to work with environmental groups. We want to work with social justice groups. We want to work with policymakers. We want to work with enterprises. And we want to collectively move upstream and transform the economic system in a way that suits our locality. So there are local hubs bubbling up from South Africa to the Netherlands, from Canada to New Zealand, and most excitingly, and finally, here in Australia. Because I can't think of a better place to take the leadership role in building the sort of economic system our planet needs. We are not short at all of awesome people. We are not short of incredible entrepreneurs. And we see, I think, a lot of this conversation, maybe using different languages, but happening in the private sector. People saying, yeah, we really want to use being commercially viable for social and environmental goals. We're certainly no short of reasons why we need to transform the system. And we're not short of people who are starting to realise that business as usual is not good enough. So it's really exciting. I want to say huge, huge thanks to all the team behind the Wellbeing Economy Alliance Australia Hub. You now join 16 other hubs, and your role is really to hold that gaze on the system, to celebrate pioneers, and to be that interface too between what's happening globally, to connect with the incredible work around the world, to join, say, your new cousins. So just a few weeks ago, I was in Copenhagen where WEAll Denmark launched. Di said for me not to say this, but there were 1,500 people there. I will take a group of 60 amazing people in Canberra over 1,500 Danes any day. But we also had the launch of WEAll Costa Rica, And just this week, the All of Ireland Hub is having its Beyond Growth conference. So you are part of incredible momentum of people who want to support you, who want to learn from you, and who want to take care of you, because this task is hard, but it is the most necessary task that we could ever embark on. And we have to do it together, because that's the only way we'll get there. And that's the utter essence of the Wellbeing Economy Alliance. And that's the utter essence of how we will bring about the change we need in Australia. So as I say in Scotland, Slanjavar, charge your glasses to the team at the WEAll Hub, and you're all welcome to be part of this journey to build WEAll in Australia and help us really shine a light on cool practice and call out the barriers to economic system change. Thank you.
It's always so hard to follow Katherine, isn't it? But first of all, I want to say thank you to Warwick Smith and Dr. Ken Henry and Dr. Katherine Trebeck for such an engaging panel discussion. And I came out and I'm just listening to the conversations, and everyone's like, wow, that is the conversation we had to have. How do we let other people know about it? How can we get that out there, like you asked, Katherine? So please help us figure that out, because it'll be really key. And a huge thank you specifically to Katherine. So she's just getting something to eat now, but a huge thank you to you, because you have given us years of work, time, and passion as an advocate for a more humane society. I remember meeting you at a book signing for the Economics of Arrival in 2019, and I've been such a fan of yours ever since. And she's been my inspiration for changing my career trajectory and why I'm here tonight. So thank you. I'd also like to extend a thanks to Dr. Michelle Maloney. She couldn't come tonight from NENA, the New Economy Network. And she and the team were founding members of WEAll Australia. And we thank her and her team, Tariq's here representing NENA, for all the effort that they went into setting it up initially, and for building that first Wellbeing Economy courses too. So thank you. And one more round of thanks, sorry, but a very key one is to the co-conveners of the WEAll Australia Hub. Without this amazing group of talented individuals that dedicate their time to meet and hash out visions and missions and how we're going to go forward, who's going to do what, we wouldn't be launching today. So I would like to thank a list of people, which is Min Sito from Australian Social Value Bank, and she'll be talking, I think, tomorrow in the conference. Georgie Camp from Huber Social, she's on maternity leave, so not here with us. Saul Cresswell from the Shire of Augusta and Margaret River, and unfortunately he couldn't make it tonight. Communications consultant Lee Spencer, Mike Salvaris from Andy and Wadi, Meg Brody from BCOS, Bronwyn Morgan from NENA and Tariq, and Esther Coe and myself from the Center for Policy Development. And a special guest also is Gareth from the WEAll New Zealand Hub. So thank you for making it over to help us with the lunch. You know, what happened is we could see all this amazing work that was happening in Scotland and in different areas around the world. And so what we decided was to create, to change what we were doing at WEAll Australia and to create a separate entity, which we're in the process of doing. And by doing that, it would enable us to grow the organization and its capacity to share the story and the message of the well-being economy and build support and build power, in a sense. We've been busy getting WEAll Australia up and running, and we started with a welcome call in March, and this is our official launch tonight, but we'll celebrate that again in a second. I would be remiss to tell you what we finally did agree on with our vision, but we're always open to, you know, people participation and more feedback if we need to change it. But our vision at WEAll Australia is an Australia that is fair, ecologically healthy, and supported by an economy that prioritizes the well-being of all. To achieve this, we're connecting people, communities, and organizations across the country to co-create systems change, including changing our economy's goals, drivers, and measures of success. WEAll Australia has 3 pillars of work: connecting people both within and across sectors, sharing knowledge in any way that we can, and getting people together in real life too, and advocating collectively with a shared framework of language, analysis, and goals. As part of the WEAll Global Alliance, we subscribe to the same principles and beliefs. By bringing together diverse sectors, government and policymakers, many of you here tonight, think tanks, academics, business leaders, advocates, professional networks, and more, we can continue to catalyze and accelerate a significant paradigm shift away from the current economic model. Our current system, as we've been talking about, perceived by many as autonomous, self-regulating, and fixated on growth and GDP, can and will be transformed. After all, humans created economics, so we can redefine it to better serve society. Over the next couple of days, you'll hear from many individuals working towards a healthier planet and a flourishing society. And now, instead of only meeting up at conferences such as this one, and then you go home and you kind of lose touch, you now have a permanent home and a growing tribe. WEAll Australia is proud to offer a hub for Australian leaders and organizations from every space and sector to connect, gather, learn, and support each other along this journey. A great tip from Katherine is to ensure that WEAll can be like a comfy couch for us to come together and hang out on, because we need to recognize that this big paradigm shift that we're going through can be pretty challenging at times and even disheartening. So we need each other. And we hope that WEAll Australia Hub will both energize and support you, providing a community of fellow travelers. We warmly invite you to become members of the Hub tonight, or maybe tomorrow if you can't do it tonight, but tonight's good. It's free and open to both individuals and organizations from all sectors, and you can participate as you wish. We currently are holding bi-monthly Zoom calls with guest speakers, and very open to anything that you want to learn more about, and we'll get the speaker to come in and share their knowledge. And we share important local to global wellbeing economy updates, and we'll be holding webinars soon. And we're hoping to hold screenings in multiple locations of the film Purpose. Some of you have heard about it. It's all about Katherine's journey in creating the alternative G7 by forming WEGO and the Wellbeing Economy Government Coalition. It also includes Lorenzo Fioramonti's contributions in the Alliance and his journey. So there's QR codes stationed around. So please go sign up and become a member to receive these updates and join in and participate. Much is happening globally. You know, did you say 1,000 or 1,500 games? 1,500. So we got to get to that level, you guys. So a lot's happening globally, and you'll hear more about it tomorrow from you again at dinner. And by working together and sharing our knowledge and our passion and amplifying our efforts, we can accelerate this change so that our children, our great-grandchildren can look forward to an economy that's in service of life, where people and living entities can flourish. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it.